Cassette 2, Side 2. Unit 34, Exercise 4. Listening. Listen to another story about a wedding. Compare it with the story in Exercise 1. In what ways are they similar, and in what ways are they different?
A terrible thing happened to a friend of mine a few months ago. He'd been invited to his best friend's wedding in Paris. And when he looked in his diary, he found out that on the same day, it was the cup final, the football cup final between Arsenal and West Ham, and he got 2 tickets for it. So, with great reluctance, he thought he'd better do the right thing and gave these 2 tickets away to another friend of his. So, he got on the train, went down to Dover, got on the hovercraft, went across to France, got to Paris, got to the church, and there was no one there. He'd got the wrong day. It was the week before.
Unit 35. Exercise 5. Listening. Listen to a police officer talking about how fingerprints are used to solve a crime, and put the stages of the process in the right order.
And now for today's crime spot, detection through fingerprints. We go over to a police laboratory in Kent, where our reporter Sally Evans is interviewing police scientist David Hill. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
What sort of clues do criminals leave behind?
It depends. Fingerprints, footprints, bloodstains, bits of hair, sometimes bits of clothing.
I see.
Yes, the scene of a crime is always searched in great detail for clues. It's important that we collect as many clues as we can.
How important are fingerprints?
Very. The fact is that everyone has a unique set of fingerprints.
But you can't always see them, surely.
No, indeed you can't. We have to put powder on all the surfaces which might have fingerprints so that we can find them.
So the powder makes the fingerprints visible, does it?
Yes, that's right. Then we place sticky tape on the prints to lift them.
What happens next?
Well, we bring the prints back here to the laboratory and photograph them. The photographs are then compared to fingerprints of suspects and other known criminals.
How interesting. What about genetic fingerprinting?
Preview, Units 36 to 40. Match the text with the photographs. Then listen and see if you were right. 1.
You aren't afraid of flying, are you?
2.
He asked her what sort of car she was looking for.
3.
I want you to cut it off. All of it.
4.
You said you were good at tennis.
5.
Are you romantic and emotional, or practical and efficient?
Unit 36. Exercise 1. Dialogue. Listen and choose the right answer. Heart Search, a dating agency, arranged a date for Claire's friend, Ruth, and sent her a description of the man. After meeting him, Ruth telephoned the agency the next day.
This is Ruth Talbot here. I'm telephoning about my date last night.
Oh, yes. Did you have a pleasant evening?
No, It was a disaster. In fact, I'm rather confused.
Oh?
Well, there are 4 things. Firstly, you said he was 26, but he's at least 35.
Oh?
I definitely said on my application form that I wanted to meet someone in their 20s.
Yes, I remember.
Secondly, and this is rather strange, you said he had dark hair and brown eyes, but in fact he has red hair and blue eyes.
Oh?
And thirdly, you said he lived in Oxford, but he doesn't. He lives in Bristol. That's too far away for me.
I'm sure that can't be right.
And fourthly, you said he was interested in music and the theatre, but he isn't. He's only interested in sport. In fact, he was really boring.
Just a moment. Was his name John Manning?
No, it was Neil Carter.
Oh, that explains it. We sent you the wrong person. I'm so sorry, Miss Talbot.
So am I.
Unit 36. Exercise 5. Speech work. Listen and see if you were right about the stress on the word that. 1,
That's my house.
2,
She said that she was married.
3,
Did she really say that?
4,
He said that that was his best performance so far.
5.
That's the company that John works for.
Unit 36. Exercise 6. Listening. Josh has recently received a cassette letter from his friend Gary, who is in La Paz, Bolivia. Read what Josh thinks is true. Then listen to the cassette and correct the facts.
Hi there, Josh. This is Gary here. I'm sending you this all the way from South America. I hope your cassette player is better than mine. You said in your letter that you were going to work in Venezuela for a while. Well, don't forget to make a trip to Bolivia if you have time. It's a great place, really great. I've been here in La Paz, the capital, for 2 months now. By the way, in case you don't know, La Paz is the highest capital city in the world, 12,000 feet. It's really cold at night here when the sun goes down, as you can imagine. The people are great, really friendly. The job is so-so. Our office is in the center of La Paz, and I have a room with my office manager, Raul, and his family. I've got a free weekend soon, so I'm planning a trip to Peru. I've never been there before, so it should be fun. The time has passed very quickly. Unfortunately, I'm going back to Britain at the end of the month, so I expect I'll see you then. Cheers for now.
Unit 38. Exercise 1. Dialogue. Listen and choose the right answer. The police have stopped Claire just outside Oxford.
What's the matter? I wasn't driving too fast, was I?
No, it's all right. Just a few questions, madam, if you don't mind. Where are you going?
Home. To Oxford.
And are you the owner of this car?
Of course I am.
And where have you come from?
London.
Do you work in London, madam?
Yes, I do.
When did you last buy petrol?
This morning on my way to work.
I see. And how long have you had this car?
Oh, about a year. What's the problem?
There's been some trouble on the motorway. A hold-up at a service station, actually. A car, just like this one, was stolen.
Unit 38. Exercise 3. Reading. Listen and read the extract from a short story. Then answer the questions.
The Leg of Lamb. Mary Maloney loved her husband Patrick very much. She was going to have a baby, and every day she looked forward to Patrick coming home from his job as a detective. Everything was perfect, until one evening he suddenly told her that he wanted to leave her. Mary was shocked, and, as if in a dream, went to the freezer and took out a frozen leg of lamb for their supper. A few minutes later, it was over. All right, she told herself, so I've killed him. She began to think very fast. She carried the meat to the kitchen, put it in a pan, turned the oven on, and put the pan inside. Then she washed her hands and ran upstairs to her bedroom. She sat down in front of the mirror, tidied her hair, and tried to smile. "I want some potatoes, please, Sam." "Yes, and perhaps some beans." She practiced several times. Then she ran downstairs, went out of the back door and into the street. She went straight to the shop. When she returned, she phoned the police. "Quick! Come quickly! Patrick's dead!" "Who's speaking?" "Mrs. Maloney. Mrs. Patrick Maloney." The car came very quickly, and when she opened the front door, 2 policemen walked in. "Is he dead?" she cried. "I'm afraid he is. What happened?" They asked her questions. In a few words, she told them what time Patrick had come home, what she was doing at the time, why she had gone to the grocer's, which grocer's she had gone to, what she had bought, and how long she had spent there. She told them how she had put the meat into the oven, "It's there now," before she left for the grocer's, and how she had come back to find him lying on the floor. They left her there while they searched the house. They were looking for the murder weapon. "It's the old story," said Detective Noonan. "Get the weapon, and you've got the murderer." After searching the house, the policeman returned. "Do you know that your oven is still on, and the meat is still inside?" "Oh," she said, "so it is." And she knew exactly what she was going to do.
Unit 38, Exercise 6. Listening. Listen to an interview with an English crime writer who lives in the south of France. Complete the article.
"Tell me, how many books have you written since you came here?"
To tell you the truth, I haven't written any.
"Are you happy here?
Yes, very. I've always loved France.
What do you miss most about Britain?"
Strangely enough, I miss the climate. The rain. But that's all.
"Do your family and friends come to visit you here?"
All the time. That's the trouble. It's one long party.
Unit 39, Exercise 5. Listening dialogue. Listen and see if you completed the dialogue correctly.
Hello?
Hello, it's me. You haven't phoned me for weeks. I was getting a bit worried about you.
Sorry, Mum. I'm fine. In fact, I'm feeling very proud of myself at the moment.
Proud? Why?
I had my first scuba diving lesson last week.
Weren't you frightened of being underwater?
Yes, I was absolutely terrified at first. But then I was okay. In fact, I'm quite pleased with myself.
Do you think you're going to be good at it?
I hope so.
Good. Well, I'm glad you weren't disappointed with your first lesson.
Disappointed? No, it was a great experience.
Anyway, I'm pleased to hear you're well. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.
Unit 40, Exercise 1. Reading. Listen and read the story and answer the questions. The gift. $1.87. That was all. 3 times Della counted it. And tomorrow was Christmas. She sat down on the old sofa and burst into tears. She had saved every penny for months, and this was the result. $20 a week doesn't go far. Only $1.87 to buy a present for Jim. Her Jim. She had spent hours planning to buy something nice for him. She went to the mirror and let her hair down. She let it fall to its full length below her knees. There were 2 possessions of which the Dillinghams were very proud. One was Jim's gold watch, which had been his grandfather's. The other was Della's hair. She put her hair up again nervously and cried a little again. Then she put on her old brown jacket, her old brown hat, and went down the stairs to the street. She stopped at a sign which read, Madame Sofroni, hair goods of all kinds. She ran up the stairs. "Will you buy my hair?" asked Della. "Take your hat off," said Madame, "and let me look at it." She let her hair down. $20, said Madame. "Give it to me quickly," said Della, and the woman began to cut off Della's beautiful long hair. For the next 2 hours, Della searched for a present for Jim. Then she found it. It was a platinum chain for Jim's watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew it was right for Jim. It was like him, quiet and valuable. It cost $21. When Della got home, she started to curl her hair. After half an hour, her head was covered in small curls. At 7 o'clock, the front door opened and Jim came in. Della whispered to herself, "Please, God, make him think I'm still pretty." Jim looked thin and serious. Poor Jim. He was only 22. His eyes fixed upon Della, and there was an expression on his face which frightened her. "Jim, darling, don't look at me like that. My hair will grow again. I cut it off and sold it because I wanted to buy you a present. I've got a beautiful present for you." "You've cut off your hair," said Jim slowly. "Yes, but I'm still me without my hair, aren't I?" "Your hair is gone," he said again, almost like an idiot. He took a package from his coat pocket and threw it on the table. Della tore at the string and paper. First, an ecstatic scream. Then, hysterical tears. For there lay the combs, the set of beautiful tortoiseshell hair combs which she had wanted for so long. She knew they were expensive. She hugged them closely and said, "My hair grows very fast, Jim." Then she jumped up and gave him her present. The platinum watch chain flashed in the light. "Isn't it beautiful, Jim? Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it." Jim sat down on the sofa and smiled. "Dell," he said, "let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them for a while. They're too nice to use at present. I sold the watch to buy your combs. Now let's have supper." The wise men invented the art of giving Christmas presents. This was the story of 2 foolish young people who sacrificed for each other
their most important possessions. But of all who give presents, these two were the wisest.
Unit 40, Exercise 4, Speech Work. Listen to see if you were right about the stress.
Put it down. Take it off. Put them on.
Tell Simon to put down the glass. Why don't you take off your coat?
I'm going to put on my boots.
Now listen and repeat the sentences.
Put it down. Take it off. Put them on.
Tell Simon to put down the glass. Why don't you take off your coat?
I'm going to put on my boots.
Unit 40, Exercise 6, Listening. Listen to John describing a story he has just read and answer the questions.
I've just finished reading a book called La Parure by Guy de Maupassant. It's a very sad story. In it, a rich woman lends her poor friend a beautiful diamond necklace to wear at a special ball. Well, when the poor friend got to the ball, she broke the clasp of her necklace and it fell off and she lost it. So she had to return the necklace to her rich friend afterwards. And she thought that what the best thing to do would be to buy a new one that looked just like it. So she did that and gave it back to her friend, who didn't notice the difference. But after that, she had to work and work and work to pay off the money that she had to spend on the new necklace. Well, years and years and years later, when this poor friend was old beyond her years, she met up with her rich friend and told her the story of how she had to work and how she'd replaced the necklace, only to be told by her rich friend that in fact the diamonds were made of cheap glass and were completely worthless.
Finale, Units 36 to 40. Exercise 1, Listening Dialogue. Listen and complete the dialogue. Josh is leaving for Venezuela. His parents and sister have come to the airport to see him off.
This is a security announcement. Passengers are reminded not to leave any bags or packages unattended at any time. Thank you.
Have you got everything?
Yes, I think so. What's the time?
6:30.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Ava rang just as we were leaving. She asked what time your flight left and said she was going to try to come to the airport.
Oh, good. She said she might be able to get off early.
Well, she'll have to hurry.
By the way, Josh, can I borrow your Walkman while you're away?
Okay, but don't break it. There's Ava.
Josh, I thought perhaps you'd gone.
Almost, but not quite.
I hate saying goodbye.
Don't say that. It's not for long. Promise you'll write.
I'll write if you write.
Come on, Josh. Time to go.
Have a wonderful time. Be good.
Why?
Josh!
Don't worry, I will. Bye, Mum, Dad, Mira. Bye, Ava. Take care.
First published by Longman Group UK Limited, 1991. Copyright Brian Abbs and Ingrid Freebairn and Longman Group UK Limited, 1991.